What's up and good morning, guys. We just got back from our honeymoon, and on that honeymoon, we went to the Biltmore. It was built by George Vanderbilt in 1895 in North Carolina. And without further ado, here is some footage, and I'll fill you in on some cool factoids. But the biggest thing about this video is encouraging everyone to go see this incredible place for themselves. Now, as you can see, this is the main entrance to the building. And yes, no picture will give you the scale of this tremendous building, but it is absolutely 250 rooms. This is the breakfast hall. It's right beside the main dining room, and those walls are leather. And coming up next is a little French room just off the breakfast room. It's sort of a hallway that connects, and they made everything into a grand room. Look at the ceiling to this room right here. This is just past the breakfast room, and it's just the architect and all the rooms are so unique and so different. This is the tapestry hall that leads us to the library. I mean, and you can see the ceilings continued, and here we have the library, and no amount of pictures will do that justice. 20,000 books. This is the ceiling in the library. This was cut into pieces and shipped over from Europe, where Mr. Vanderbilt discovered it. This is Mr. Vanderbilt's master bedroom. Incredible, incredible room, huge, probably the size of most people's homes if you just look at the square footage, and made that queen size bed look rather small. Following that, this is the room in between Mr. and Mrs. Vanderbilt's rooms. This is sort of like an acting living room that adjoined the two rooms, and that's the ceiling. Again, you just there's so many details. You can't take it all in unless you clog it up. This is the ceiling to Mrs. Vanderbilt's room. If you clog the hallways and just stand there for hours just looking at everything slowly, you might see all the details. Probably not. Grand staircase covering, I think, 4 floors for the major floors, but there is half floors in between. And this chandelier weighs several thousand pounds. I think it weighed 4,000 pounds, and it's anchored in the steel beams. The whole building is a brick and steel building. This is the living room for guests, where everyone would gather together. And this is the biggest and most beautiful, one of the most beautiful guest rooms. They all have different names, I think, for the most famous people staying in them. But as you can see, each room has its own theme, its own textures and wall coverings. It's unlike anything you've ever experienced. In this room, his wife gave birth to their baby. Several babies were born in this room, actually. And they think they used it because of the French doors. This is the structure, the foundation, the hallway leading to all the cool stuff underneath the home, like this bowling alley. The company that built their pool tables, they actually made these bowling alleys, some of the first of their kind. The swimming pool, as you can see, it's no longer in use. It has a big leak. The last time they filled it up in the 70s, the next morning they came down and there was no water in it, and all the water was in the basement. But still, so far ahead of its time, you could only have water in it for 3 days. There's the pool tables I was talking about earlier. Really cool space. This is just off the grand room, one of them. But as you can see, the architecture just goes on for days and days. You can't get enough of it. Every time you think you've seen something incredible, you turn around, turn the next corner, and your jaw drops and your breath is taken. And can you just look at these views? And this is what the house was all about. Mr. Vanderbilt, he was running away from New York, trying to find a place for his mother to breathe in fresh country air. When I say running away, he was just looking for a new place. But when he discovered these hills in North Carolina and the mountains in the background, this is it. This was the pinnacle of all that he had looked for. And the people that helped him build this home, they actually built a 20-foot platform to show him what the views would be like from an elevated position from when the house was finished. And he looked out and over it all, and this is what him and his two major conspirators envisioned. This is what the collaboration end results look like. And it's just magnificent. You really have to see it for yourself, guys. You have to come see this place. It's amazing. And that is the Biltmore. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a blessed and truly happy life.